Hi, loves. It's Kiera, aka the Alchemist. Thank you for joining me once again. If you're here for the first time, welcome to the Candid Cozy channel. Um, I'm gonna do things a little differently today. Typically, I do pull cards, and I'm probably gonna pull a couple of cards. I have them here. I've been shuffling them. But before we do that, I felt like it was really important to explain a little bit about the concept of alchemy and what it means for me, what it means for the Cozy brand. What do we mean when we say cozy alchemy? So, in order for me to do that, I felt like it would be really important for me to give you guys a little bit of backstory behind how the concept for cozy alchemy was created. So, which requires me to be a bit vulnerable about my own personal experiences. So, first, I wanted to say, just in terms of the history of alchemy, there are different variations of definitions behind what alchemy is. It started out as, I think the Egyptians, and bear with me because I really don't have full, I've done the research on, the history of the who's and the whens, but in terms of having that memorized, I don't. But I know that I believe it was like the Egyptians, they were trying to learn how to turn like anything, rocks, minerals, into gold. And they believed that they had the ability to do so. And then from there, it transformed into I bet we can use this concept of alchemy and immortalize our people, especially the kings and queens, the people that they held at really high regard. If we take these steps that we've learned about alchemy, then we could probably learn to live forever. And I think honestly, that's where the negative connotation for alchemy was created, because it was like, oh my God, you're trying to play God, blah, blah, blah. But from there, from each of these phases of the different variations of people that are taking this concept of transmutation, which is basically what it is, and trying to find new ways to apply it to life in general, spiritual alchemy was formed. Because with all of those processes, there's such extensive, deep, inner, there's a strong willingness that comes. There's a lot of resiliency that you have to have. There's a lot of perseverance. There's a lot of patience that comes even with the steps of transforming something from nothing into gold. And what they began to learn is that, through trying to become an alchemist, you go through a spiritual transformation as well. And so the spiritual transformation is basically this process of what we go through in life. You start out, one way. You go through these experiences that, in the beginning phases of your life, they create a lot of trauma and wounds, and that's where your shadow is formed. That's where your inner child wounds are formed. That's where your ego is formed. Like all of this, is formed, and then you spend the rest of your life trying to recover from that. And a lot of people don't know how to, but the people who have learned to figure it out, the process that they take to get back to themselves is called spiritual alchemy. Okay, so I began this process myself, and I said this last time. I said 2007, when really it's 2017. However, everything happens for a reason, because I feel like 2017 is when I began that process of my own personal spiritual awakening. However, 2007, and from 2007 to 2021, you can't discredit that time frame. Even from 2007 to 2017, it's like you can't really talk about 2017 without 2007. What does that mean? So I feel like 2007 is when I began my first um like karmic growth cycle. um it was when I began that process of being placed in like many situations that forced me to break all the way to the point of having no choice but to rebuild. Okay. And 2017 was the rebuild. I spent from 2007 to 2017 going through many experiences with many different people, in many different ways, basically being broken down, having every aspect of who I was broken down. That was my karmic transformation. Okay. And it was in 2017 that I identified that's when whatever the lesson was that I was meant to learn. And that's I'm gonna keep that to myself for now. um the lesson that I was meant to learn, that's when I finally learned it in 2017. Did I say 2010? No, I didn't learn it until 2020. But that's when I began to recognize that I was, in fact, going through this massive ego death. Okay. It started in 2017. It was, I had a miscarriage. Then I dealt with postpartum. And then, I dealt with issues with various relationships in my life. And it wasn't until 2020 that I was left starting from scratch. And it was at that time that I was like, okay, God, I don't even know what made me decide to have this conversation with God, but I don't know. Like, I don't know. I don't know how to put that into words yet, but it's something just clicked. I don't know if it was a dream. I don't know if it was something I read, something I watched, but I was divinely guided to something that had me to ask, all right, show me. Like, show me the truth. Show me my truth. Show me what I have not been, seeing all these years. Open my eyes, open my mind, open my heart, and make me completely receptive to the truth and keep me from anything but the truth. Okay. You got to be careful what you ask for, but that question alone is what began the process of my spiritual alchemy journey. So, what does that mean? That's when I had to take a huge look in the mirror and say, how did we get here? How did I get here? And what is here for me? What is causing me to feel so much pain? Who am I? Like, how did I get here? And in order for me to figure out who I am, I had to go through this process of identifying who I wasn't. And so in order to figure out who I wasn't, I had to really take the time to listen to myself and listen to who I have been telling myself I was, that I didn't even realize. These are programmed thought processes and behavioral patterns and belief systems that have been programmed in me that I had no idea. I had to take that time to really just break all of that down. And then from there, it was, okay, now what? Like, I've broken it all down, and I'm putting everything in a box. This isn't me. I learned this from here. It was through this childhood experience. It was through this childhood experience. It was through this. It was through this. It was through this. It was through this. And now, there's all these boxes, right, laid out in front of me, and none of them are me. They are things I learned from, my upbringing, how I was raised. They are things I saw on TV. There are things that I was told about myself growing up. There are things that I was told I had to be, do, believe in, think, feel. These are things that were programmed in me intentionally and unintentionally by my environment, the people around me, the things I watched, the things I heard, the things I saw, the things I chose to believe, the way I interpreted things, all of that is what shaped me. And what I realized was, but that's not how I feel though. That's not me. So if I can see that this is this, then who am I? What is me? And it was like starting from scratch. And that can be a very terrifying thing, or it can be a beautiful thing depending on how you look at it. And I'm not gonna lie, it started out terrifying. It's really hard to have your entire foundation broken down and not know yourself, especially at the age of 30. Like, terrifying. But it was worth the process, and I found excitement in being able to start over from scratch, because everything that I chose to believe from that point forward was my own. Now, here's the thing about that though. It really wasn't that simple, because there's a process that you have to go through to reprogram your thought process and your behavioral patterns. And there's layers to it. As you identify one thing and you learn to heal from it, it sheds that layer and reveals something even deeper. And you're consistently breaking down those layers. And that's a lifelong process, right? But I was doing this with like no knowledge of, like, I was just taking small things from different people, you know, that I was drawn to, and just like praying for the best. And then from there, it was like, okay, how do I reestablish myself? What is self? You know, what am I broken into? That's how, when I began to understand the ego and the shadow and the inner child and your higher self. And then, you know, eventually you get to that point where you're like, oh, right. So we know that the ultimate goal is the higher self. Your higher self is your true self. How do I get there? And that's when shit gets real, because that spiritual awakening is no joke. But it showed me that our spiritual journey and our relationship with God, or however you identify, source, spirit, the most high, all the same. Okay, we'll talk about that later though. It was a personal one, and I had never had a personal relationship, because my relationship stemmed from what I was taught it needed to look like. And now I was getting to redefine it. And then I was having to trust myself, because I had no other foundation to stand on. And by trusting myself, I tapped into my intuition. By tapping into my intuition, I began to strengthen that muscle and could hear more clearly, see more clearly, think more clearly, exactly what spirit wanted me to think, feel, hear, see, think, feel, all of that. And it's like a consistent cycle. That, ladies and gentlemen, but as I did that, before I say that, as I did that with each layer, I fell in love with myself again. I fell in love with life again. I went through, and I'm still going through, many ego deaths, okay? Because I think we've talked about this before. Your ego is a beautiful thing. It's here to protect your inner child. It was formed in that first 7 years of life as a result of the experiences that shaped you, because ultimately who you are, until you go through this process of alchemizing yourself to return to your highest self, is based on the first 7 years of your life. Okay? All of it is based on that first 7 years. Every decision you make, everything you think, the way that you handle relationships is based on that 7 years of life. And I lost my train of thought. Yes, your ego. I'm sorry. So your ego is a beautiful thing. However, your ego operates in fear. It operates best when it knows what's coming. And sometimes what's coming is not always what needs to be coming, but because it's familiar, your ego will go with it, because at least I know what's coming, right? That's how your ego thinks. Your higher self, very well aware of what's coming, what's been, where you're going, who you're going with, who's going to be there when you get there. Your higher self, fully tapped in, you know, your higher self is who who decided what life path you were going to take before you were even born, that's who you're trying to connect with, who you're tapping into. So as I began the process of learning to connect with my higher self and getting closer and closer to that version of me, I was able to tell my inner child, like, okay, it's fine. You can relax, take a breath. You did a great job. Okay, so we're not judging our ego or the decisions that we made in our past or what we chose to do when we were in our unhealed state. We're not judging that. You did a great job. I appreciate you for holding me down for all these years. And now I'm going to learn to trust my higher self. And that is still scary, okay? It is scary. That's just the reality of the situation. But the more you learn to trust, the more that fear is released. And that's where we are right now. Just in general, in life, we're learning to release. So I said all that to say, that is what alchemy is. I don't know what different types of, I don't care. Let me say that. I don't care what other types of understandings there are about alchemy out there. For me, and I found a quote on Instagram. I'm going to share it. I'm going to try to share it on here, y'all. I'm not that fancy. If all else fails, I'm going to share it. I'm going to figure it out. But it's going to be up here somewhere, up there. But I found a quote on Instagram, and it was like life altering for me. And then I read the book, The Alchemist, and that's when I realized that this journey I had been on for the past couple of years was in fact a spiritual alchemy, spiritual awakening, transmutation of everything I had experienced, and learning how to take those things and transmute them into love and light and purpose and passion and freedom and joy and peace and all of those things. And I understand that I experienced those things, and there are a lot of people out there who go through those things before the collective so that they can help others on their journey. I understand that I went through what I went through with no roadmap because I needed to create the roadmap, okay? Especially for my generation, especially for my community, where there is very little knowledge of how to get back to yourself. Because the reality of the situation is, when we were born, we were already born our highest self. And unfortunately, well, I won't say unfortunately, because that's just what life is. That's what it is. You, as a spirit, we make a decision to come live a human experience and just see what life is like, and what will it take? What path do we want to take? What lessons do we want to learn to get back to ourselves? What will it take for us to remember who we were? That's what alchemy is. And that's what my goal is, to help you guys understand. I use tarot. I do tarot for the purpose, tarot, oracles, whatever. I'm an intuitive reader. One, because that is the spiritual gift that was given to me. And for the record, we all have them. You just have to figure out what yours is. You have to rediscover it, and you will figure it out if you take the time to do the work. But for me, I know that spirit uses me to relay messages. I'm a messenger. I am just a messenger, okay? And I have the ability to give messages to people that spirit wants me to provide for them. Not just spirit, but also like your spirit guides, spirit and your spirit guides, basically. And that's me. That's my gift. So I utilize the cards to help with confirmation a lot of times, or to give guidance on, like, what do you need for the future. But for me, the biggest aspect of who I am stems from how I have learned to take all of these painful experiences, okay? And it may not even be that painful. Some of you don't even feel like you've been through that much until you start going through that work, and you're like, ooh, I didn't even realize that the reason that I do this is because I I dealt with this growing up, and I didn't even realize it hit me that much, because a lot of times what we do is we bury it below the surface. But now everything's being brought to the light, and my job is to help you guys maneuver around that, basically. And I went through what I went through so that I could do that, so that you wouldn't have to struggle and figure it out on your own. And I am fully, what's the word I'm looking for? I genuinely am grateful to have been chosen for that responsibility. And so that's why I, along with my team, my lovely team, have created the Cozy Alchemy program. So we understand spiritual alchemy. That's that transmutation, turning, these difficult experiences, just returning to yourself, like turning all of these things that you've experienced into love, light, and peace and purpose, right? Cozy alchemy is understanding that process, that journey, is a path back to yourself. Okay? Because what a lot of people say, I'm discovering myself. No, you're rediscovering yourself. You've always been who you were. It's just been buried beneath the surface. So there's a lot of people, we're going through this, what we're feeling right now in the age of Aquarius, where you're just being forced to see the truth of a lot of things, is we're dealing with a lot of people right now that are like, I feel like there's more, but I don't know what more is, and I don't know how to find it. And unfortunately, we've been programmed to believe that there's this box we have to stay in. It makes me really sad. Like, I have not been closer to God than I am now. And it's because I developed a personal relationship that I didn't have before. And through that, it was revealed to me all of these different elements, all of the ways in which the universe, the world, the earth were designed and created to help us remember who we are. Like, that was the point. The sun, yes, it serves the purpose of keeping us warm and lighting the sky. But do you realize that it was designed to heal us? Okay? That it's there. You can't think that God is so grand and assume that the smallest thing doesn't serve a big purpose. Okay? That's the same for the stars. People that are interested in astrology, they are only understanding that the stars and the planets and the alignment and all the way it was designed was strategic and perfectly designed to mirror our human form. Okay? So if we utilize the resources that were given to us, then it will only help aid us in this journey of returning back to ourselves. That's what it's all about. So it really makes me sad sometimes, and I don't know, I hope I don't get like shadow banned or anything, but it makes me sad when I hear people be like, oh, I wish people would stop talking about the universe. I wish people would stop talking about crystals. I wish people would stop talking about this, because I believe in God. Like, me too. And most of those people do too. They may not say it in the way that you do, but that's their own personal spiritual journey. Like, God has created so many resources. Spirit created so many resources, and I mean that, and not just in physical things, but people, our spiritual gifts. Like, there's so much that was created for our benefit. And when I was able to look at that and say, wow, like, wow, the thoughts that was put into creation, and then you made me too, it's a beautiful thing. But unfortunately, we are a lot of people have been placed in this box and have been um, scared into believing that anything outside of what they were taught is, I don't know, bad. Let's just say that. Dark. And that's not true. It's not true. Everybody's personal relationship is just that. It's personal, it's custom, it should be. What we're drawn to has a lot to do with who we are. And I think that that's my goal. Okay? My goal is to get us out of this box. Okay? We're not, God said that we were created in his image. No, it actually says in their image. And that alone tells you something. It says, let us create man in our image. Which means there was more. There was more. Okay? Which means we were way more powerful than we give ourselves credit. And we were meant to be. We were meant to be co-creators of our life. Okay? And so I said all that to say that is cozy alchemy, okay? That's what that means. That's what it stands for. The goal is not for you to, if you ever decided, hey, I want to join this program because I'm interested, I want to heal, I want to get back to myself, even though I don't feel like I had a difficult childhood, or maybe I did, or I don't feel like my upbringing was that hard, or maybe it was. I don't know how to do this. I put in the work and I documented everything, and I grabbed all the resources from all the various different, avenues, and put it into this one package. It's like a toolkit. Okay? So the goal is not to get out of this program and be like, oh, I'm healed. Like, that's not possible. Healing is a lifelong journey. Discovery back to yourself is a lifelong journey. As long as you're here, you are not fully there, if that makes sense. But you can get to a point where you're extremely close and you are able to live a blissful life. And that's what we were supposed to do. Like, that's the end goal. Okay. That's the, I don't want to say game, but that's the end. That's the game. It's like a simulation. Your spirit was like, ooh, I want to play, and I want to be this person, and I want to go through these experiences, and I want to meet these people, and I want them to do these things, and then let me see how long it takes me to find myself, how long it takes for me to remember who I am. That's the human experience. That's cozy alchemy. And we have all of these resources, just like in a video game, where you're like, ooh, plants, 10 points. Like, if I get plants, I'm realizing that not only is it good for me, the circulation and everything, but it's also very healing. I'm drawn to them. It helps heal me mentally. I feel grounded when I'm around them. Like, ding, 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 ooh, essential oils, ding, 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 ooh, crystals, ding, 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 ooh, meditating, ding, 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 ooh, yoga, ooh, like, food, ooh, the types of food, ooh, like, these are all of these things, all of these elements that you're surrounded with on a day-to-day basis, the good ones and the bad ones. If you pick the wrong ones, you're losing points. If you pick the right ones, you're gaining points. And these points are adding up to help you get back to yourself. That is cozy alchemy. That's it in a nutshell. And who am I? I didn't create the game. Obviously, that was source. I was sent down to provide the instruction manual. And how did I get the instruction manual? Had to go through that shit myself. I did. And there's a lot of us out there. And the sooner the value is placed in that instead of fear, the more, and not just people, but all the resources that are given to us. Okay, the sooner you find value in those things and release the fear that has been placed in you, the sooner you can return back to yourself too. So, but here's the thing though, everybody's journey is custom. So you might go through this process and realize that none of those things really click for you, but you will be able to figure out what does, and then learn what to do with it, and then utilize it on your own healing journey. That's what it is. It's very custom. It's very custom to who you are, who you've been, and who you're supposed to be. Very custom. And I don't know, I felt like it was really important for me to get on here and talk about it a little bit. I feel like I rambled. I don't even remember half the stuff I said. But hopefully it resonated with you. I will take time one day. I don't think I will do it on YouTube. I don't know. We'll see. We'll see where I'm led. But it will be important for me to take the time to just kind of break down how, like, what I went through that helped me through that process. And honestly, if you join the program, you'll get a lot of that information. I will definitely share. So will my team, all of my mentors, everyone involved. We've all been through this journey, and now we're just packaging it into one location, one box, one, book, 1 8-week program, so that you don't have to go through that same work. Like I said last time, in my last video, I'm on this path, right? And I fell flat on my face over and over and over and over and over again. But every time I turned around, I'm sorry, I'm shaking my phone. Every time I turned around, I took notes. I said, okay, this is here. All right, let me write that down. How did I get back up? All right, let me write that down too. All right, cool. So what's next? All right. So, now that I have all that information, let me share it, because somebody's coming behind me. I don't want them to fall too. They're going to have to get over that, right? The hump is there. You can't avoid it. It's life. That's your simulation. Your hump might look a little different from mine, but I can give you some tips on how to get through it a little bit easier instead of landing on your face. So what took me years to learn, maybe it won't take you as long. That was the goal. That's the goal with this program, and I think it's beautiful. I honestly, like, the more work that was put into it, the more people that, were brought in, that were fully in alignment with the mission and what they bring to the table, and the knowledge and the passion and the experience that comes with this program. Listen, it's invaluable and life-changing, and definitely worth it. I think before you can go through that process, though, it's really important to take a look at your life. Like, genuinely take a look at your life and just ask yourself, have I reached my highest self? And what does that even look like? Do I feel like who I am right now is what I was put on this earth to become? Is that it? Like, are we done? Is there some lingering aspect of me that still feels trapped? And if the answer to that question is yes, it's worth it to just take a look into what more could possibly be. You know what I mean? Here's the thing. The consultation is $150. That consultation comes with a very extensive intuitive reading, and it also comes with kind of like a mapping out of what your self-healing package would look like. Very detailed. So let's say you don't want to move forward with the program, which I don't think that would happen, but maybe that's just me. But there's a chance you might not. You still are coming away with a lot of knowledge and resources to help you on your healing journey. And hopefully you can, come back to this information over and over and over again to help you with each new chapter and each new level as you continuously ascend, because that's the goal. Ascension. Return to self. Your highest self. In order to get to your highest self, there's a ladder you got to keep climbing. Okay? And each step it just brings new awareness. That's the best way to put that. It brings new awareness. And so, yeah, if you feel like you have it and you just need, the baseline, then the consultation will be very beneficial to you. But if you feel like you need more guidance, if you really need the full toolkit with all the details, all the history, all the notes, all the actual equipment, because we're not just giving you information, we're actually sending you weekly kits, personalized kits to your own life and your own needs, that you can use over and over again, right? Then it might be worth it to join the program. The program itself is $1,200. You have the option to pay it weekly. We might even add the option to pay it bi-weekly now that I think about it. But or you can pay it monthly. And if you pay it monthly, you get $100 off. So it'll only be $1,100, $550 a month. The first session starts, where the consultation for the first session starts August 19th. Okay? It's like I said, it's 8 weeks. You have the first week, and then there's going to be a break while me and my team build your package, and then the program fully starts on September the 6th. And there's it's very, very extensive, lots of information. You're getting weekly boxes in the mail. You're getting a manual at the very beginning. You're getting one-on-one calls with me personally, a weekly reading. You're getting meal plans. You're getting fitness plans, because this is a holistic experience. It's not just a spiritual one. This is about your mental, your physical, your spiritual, your emotional, like holistic. Okay, you can't heal one without the other. They all work together, and we're including all of that. We're learning about our history. We're learning about our culture. We're learning about how, all of this has been created for our benefit, and how to utilize those things. And we're learning how to rediscover ourselves. That's it. So before I go, because I know you guys want to, we got 38 minutes. I don't want to go over 45, so I am going to pull a couple of cards just to see the energy. And then we'll go. Okay. So let's see. What's the Oh, there's a lot going on here. All right. Okay, so we have the Star card that came out. We have the Death card that came out. And we have the Five of Pentacles. And at the bottom of the deck, we have the Queen of Pentacles. So first, before I read this, I'm going to clarify this really quick, because I feel like, yeah, we got the Four of Swords and then Justice. Bam, that's all I needed. Okay, so with the Five of Pentacles here, Five of Pentacles typically means, like, this is fear. This is that lack mentality. Fear of abandonment, fear of not being enough, not having enough, being left behind, not supported, putting yourself out there and getting shut down. Like, that's that energy. But with the Death card here, there's a rebirth happening right now. So this is the energy that collectively a lot of people have been in for a really, really long time. And we're going through a massive ego death. And it's requiring you to reevaluate yourself a little bit. Like, if it's been feeling like, what the heck is going on? And why do I feel like crying all the time? Like, you're going through a massive ego death. Allow yourself to feel everything that's coming to the surface, all the fears, all the doubts, all the longings, like everything that's coming to the surface is coming so that you can heal. Okay. And that's why the death card came out, because you're being reborn. You're letting this stuff go. You have to recognize these things that have been placed beneath the surface for so long. They're coming to the surface so you can heal from it, because hiding it is not healing from it. Okay. And that's what a lot of us have learned how to do. That's how we were taught to survive, is to just brush it under the rug. We're not doing that anymore. What was in the dark is coming to the light, and you're being reborn, and it hurts. It sucks. It's like, who the fuck am I? Oh, that's me. What do I do with this? Like, that's the energy that we're in. But with this star card, like, it's beautiful. It's a beautiful transformation that's taking place, and you're starting to see things from a clear perspective, a new perspective. When I see the Four of Swords, I'm hearing rest. Like, you guys, I don't know, this fan is like blowing me in my face. It's making my eye water. But you guys, listen to yourselves. Listen to your bodies. Listen to your spirits. If you need to pause, I'm getting a lot of hermit energy here. If you need to pause and just really give yourself an opportunity to reevaluate things and what direction, the course that you're about to take, do it. Okay? Do it. Because you have justice here, which is saying that, like, a lot of major cycles are closing out. A lot of major cycles. You got the Three of Swords in reverse, which means you're healing. There's a lot of healing taking place. A lot of healing from, like, I feel like in this past cycle, a lot of you have to let go of some things, and people, mainly people, definitely people, that were no longer in alignment with who you're becoming. And in a lot of those cases, that was really hard. I feel like there was this space of feeling really lonely, not knowing yourself and not feeling like anyone else knows you. But what's happening is it's transforming you, right? You're clearing up space. You're cleaning out the closet. You're doing a massive purge. I bet, like myself, you guys probably were feeling a lot of purging coming out of your body as well. My face was really broken out for a couple of weeks. It's still kind of like it's trying to make its way back, but all of that was because the things that were dwelling within you, like dormant within you for so long, that weren't serving you, they're coming to the surface, and you're going to start to see a reflection of that in the physical. Okay. You're going to start to see yourself look different as you go through your ascension, period. Okay. I see 43 on my, the time right now. 43 represents stability and foundation and security and, just healthy boundaries. Like, it's just everything that you're ultimately looking for life to become. 43 also is, when you add 4 and 3, it equals 7, which is a number of completion. Okay. But yeah, you're healing, and you're Knight of Cups. You're making room for something to come forward, something new. Page of Cups. This definitely has to do with love. Not just love. Okay, I say love. You're making room for love to come forward, emotional fulfillment. But this is self-love too, okay? This is a love of life, okay? This is just feeling fulfilled in your day-to-day, having fun, finding that spark again. Like, this is the energy that we're in. We're transforming, we're transitioning, we're transmuting, and it's beautiful. It's hard, but it's beautiful. And right now, I think, like, a lot of you were really triggered over the past couple of weeks. I was one of them, for sure. There's a lot of things that happen to trigger you, but they were meant to show you who you are now, okay, versus who you used to be, and to show you what you don't want moving forward, so you can, finish that last bit of releasing, not just releasing of people and things and situations, but releasing of things within yourself and the version of yourself that is not in alignment with who you are and your highest self and your purpose and who you're meant to become. So that's the energy that we're in. So I'm just gonna pull for advice. 4444. You're being very, oh my god, I I was about to say 444, you're being very much supported and guided. Okay, your spirit tribe is supporting you, and here we are at 3 of Pentacles. Your spirit tribe is supporting you. They are with you, and you have, all you need to do is recognize that. Okay, continue to focus on walking away from what's no longer serving you. That's this 8 of Cups energy, and a lot of that is not about a person at this point anymore, except for yourself. Okay, this is reestablishing security and stability and what your foundation looks like. Yeah, we're closing out cycles, 10 of Swords, and moving forward, 2 of Wands. We're moving forward. We're making decisions about what we want life to look like, moving forward. Okay, you've been through the cycle, you've been through the lesson, you've learned what you needed to learn. Now you just needed, and then you needed to recognize that you learned what you needed to learn, and now you're going through this phase of like, okay, I've released what's not serving me, so what do I want to move forward with? How do I want to do things? And a lot of you are being called to make drastic changes in your life, whether it's a move or a relationship or a career change. There's massive changes that you guys are being pushed towards, and Spirit is saying, I'm supporting you. Okay, I'm supporting you. Your tribe is supporting you. We're here. We got you. Just listen to what we're telling you to do, and everything's going to fall into place. Trust, okay? Just trust the process. It's going to be beautiful. And I don't know. I wasn't going to, but we're going to do an overall outcome so that you guys can see where you're being led. What's the overall outcome? All right, so we got the Page of Swords, and we got... Did it come out? We got the Moon, and it came out in reverse. So the Page of Swords is about, well, there's definitely like learning something new about yourself. And then the Moon came out in reverse, which is about seeing things clearly, where in the past you weren't seeing things from a clear perspective. And I think when I hear that, I'm hearing seeing the truth about yourself. The things that were hidden beneath the surface that you weren't really willing to face, like they're coming out. You're learning about yourself. The truth is being exposed, but it's for your good, so that you can begin to turn the page, okay? Turn the wheel. We talked about this last time. I remember I was like, there's one more thing you need to do to turn the wheel. We're here. We're here. It's time. And it's going to be beautiful. You guys are worn out. I feel like there's a lot of mental overload, man. A lot of mental overload. You're still kind of sad. You're still kind of like mourning is what I just heard. But you're moving forward. You're moving forward to a beautiful new beginning. You just got to trust it. And this is in love. This is in abundance in every area of your life. Okay? Oh, I just heard do it scared. So there are some of you that have a decision that you need to make. You still trying to like that 2 of Wands, okay? Do it scared. Do it. Do it. It's going to be the best decision of your life. And that do it might mean joining that Cozy Alchemy program so that you can get your life and rediscover yourself and return to your highest self. And I can understand how that would be scared, but do it scared. It'll be the best decision you've ever made in your life. Trust me. Okay, so 48 minutes. I really don't want to keep you guys much longer. I hope that resonated. I hope that wasn't like a bunch of rambling, and we'll talk soon. August 19th, the launch of the Cozy Alchemy Mentor Program. Please, 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 just take a look at it. It'll be in the link in the caption. And if it resonates with you, if it feels like something that will change your life, then sign up. We only got a couple more slots yet left though for this session, and we'll have another session in January. So sign up quick. And thanks, guys. Talk to you soon. Bye.